Today, I'm going to share with you one thing that totally changed my life after having it for a long, long time. That is a belief in unworthiness that showed up in how I was willing to serve others at my own expense. I'm Georgie Holbrook. I'm a holistic health educator, and I've been at this for 30 years. And if you're new to my channel, please like it. Anyway, I would like you to get a paper and pencil ready, and in the end, I'm going to give you some suggestions. Number one, I believe I've been walking in the footsteps of women for generations. I mean, their patterns, their beliefs, and number one, women that were willing to serve others at their own expense. Women that were willing to serve out of exhaustion every day sometimes and call it love or their duty. But in the end, they end up in a retirement center or a nursing home that life has passed them by and now they're angry and they have regrets. We don't want to live with regrets. Number two, when asked most women, I've been at this 30 years, so how are you feeling? They will tell me their physical ailments. So we haven't been taught to say, I feel mad, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm grieving losses. I have this knot in my stomach, something's off. My intuition's telling me that there's someone or something in my life that I'm not enjoying. So that kind of feelings. We normally do not share that kind of feeling. And then what about the times in your life where you just give to others? So you're superwoman, right? You give to others just knowing that you never asked for help. So I'm going to give you a brief little story. When I was 8 years old, I rode a bus to go to school. And this is a belief that I got very early on. So my mother and dad were in business for themselves. They had bought land, and my dad worked in a shop that was right on our property. And we had our home there also. But every morning when I rode the bus to go to school, I would ask my dad for 5 cents for milk money. And my dad would tease me and have me beg for that 5 cents before I left home. And one day, I just had enough of this teasing. And I said in my heart, I will never ask you for anything in your life. I'm done. That was 8 years old. So then, how did it show up in my life? So many years later, I'm now working in the health field. I have a massage table and I'm doing craniosacral therapy on people. And this lady comes in that has a frozen left arm where she can't move it. She was in an auto accident and she's in great pain. So after working on her for 2 hours, I was just exhausted. I didn't know what else to try. When these three voices came into my head, separate voices, three angels that said, if you'd ever ask us, we're here. We're like expensive employees standing around you, but you never asked, Georgie. And so I asked right then, take over this lady. And immediately she was healed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I went all my life thinking that it was wrong. It was a weakness to ask other people. So experiment with that. Ask your angels, help me. It can be real simple things that you ask for, but they will show up for you. Then the other thing that happened was that as I'm going along through life, I realized, and I would like you to write this down, that I had many beliefs that I had to take a look at that were not serving me. So here's your list. Do you have addictions that do not serve you, but you know that they're not good for you, but you do them anyhow because you're just kind of in this rut? It can be many, many different types of addictions, from spending, eating, scrolling the web, whatever's numbing you, whatever that is. Take a look at it and be honest with you. And then here's the really important question is underneath all that, what gives me permission to waste my time this way when the great creator that created you with a purpose and passion, with goals and dreams and things that you can create? And here it is, This time, right, that gets wasted every day, and just accumulates. So from there, take a look at that. And one addiction is self-talk. This is what we tell ourselves every day. So self-talk also bridges over to how we look at our image, our own self-image, and how we hide sometimes. But negative self-talk is an addiction that's so familiar, it's so ingrained in us of being unworthy. And that was my addiction. It showed up in different ways, but mine was most about how I served others at my own expense. So you want to start looking at that self-talk. Listen in. What are you telling yourself? And one way that I suggest is you make a list of all the things you appreciate about yourself. What do you appreciate about yourself? What are your talents? And what have you accomplished so far in life? And what could you share with one other person and really help them if you learn really how to share in this way? You might even want to write a book like I have and write your story or a magazine article. But using your time wisely, because life is going to pass us by, and we don't want to be that woman in that nursing home with regrets, right? So here, self-nurturing. What can you do to start self-nurturing? So one idea, write down, I want to have peace within at whatever price it takes to get it. Multitasking just has to go. Where I'm just drained at the end of the day, where my adrenal system is just exhausted and it's really hard to recover. I've been that route. So you want to take a look at what are your habits? And kind of take like a movie in slow motion. What am I doing and who am I hanging out with? So here's two things you can look at. When you're with somebody and then you leave them, does your life feel enhanced? Do you feel encouraged? Do you feel energized? And if not, do you feel drained, moody, like, oh, I wished I wouldn't have hung out with that person? So you want to start looking at your friends and those people around you where you're also taking your time, but you're not enhancing your life. So that's what we want to do. We want to enhance our life and look for, even if you're without friends for a little while, you start looking for people that are like-minded, that have a goal, that are really going after something. So you want to take your talents, your hobbies, your passion, and have a bigger dream than how most of us have been taught for generations how to show up. Just this is where we are in life, and this is the way it's going to be, and this is how I'm going to die. It's like, no, the way you live is how you die. So if you die with regrets, that's one way. But if you die where you're just been filled by giving to other people and sharing your talents with other people is another way that's really exciting. So I always say when I'm 105 or I'm 110, I still want to be teaching because sharing with you is the joy of my life. So you'll see I have a link below. You can sign up for my newsletter, but you can also sign up for 15 minutes free session on telling me what changes you're going to make. You can also put comments down below on what did you learn today? What is it in your life that all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I've got addictions and yeah, I want to change. And what changes are you willing to make rather than let it be familiar, eat, sleep, work, do it over again tomorrow. But when you're living your joy, you wake up tomorrow morning and you can't wait to do it all over again. See, I enjoy sharing my message with you, and you'll see I die on silk. This is a butterfly I did. That heart back there I did because I do everything in prayer. I do everything to my best ability to have peace within at whatever price it takes. I don't react in life very seldom unless there's an emergency of some kind. But calmness inside, when we are calm inside, our nervous system is calm. What does that mean? It means that our immune system, our organs are calm. But when we're upset and we're multitasking, our body thinks we're in some kind of emergency and it's going to burn out. And I burned out my immune system when I was 36. I was very young, but it took me another 7 years to recover. but another 10 years on top of that to heal the trauma from it. That's why I'm so in love with sharing with you. Don't burn out. Live your passion where your body's happy and you're happy, just like the butterfly, right? The butterfly doesn't go sit on a cactus every day going, I don't like this life and I don't like that person I'm married to, or I don't like that boyfriend, or I don't like being poor, or whatever that message is. No, a butterfly always looks for the sweetness of life. And I want you to look for the sweetness in life too. So say something in the comments below. I will be reading them, and contact me for that free session, because together, see, together we can make a change. And, you know, there's a lot of chaos going on in the world. I'm sure you've noticed. But we can have an environment around us of peace. We can change from within out. We can change. And the rest of the world, we can't do anything about. So why grumble about it and what they're doing? What can we do for ourselves? Let us lead by example for future generations and fall in love with ourselves and our life, and the intuition that lives within us is just ready. See, intuition is 100% accurate. And we as women have been taught to learn hindsight. I make a mistake and then I learn. That's the wrong way to learn. So when you trust your intuition, yes, we're still going to make some mistakes, but not nearly. We're going to have a lot of things that we just know that we know that we know who we are, and trust our own intuition. And that is sheer gift. So let me know what changes you're going to make, and like this video, because together we can make a bigger difference in this world. Bye for now. I've got many videos out there. One video has 172,000 reviews. So you might want to check that one out because it's spinning around the world right now. Take care. Love you. Bye now.